Hi there and welcome to today's Stretch for Strength class. Today we're going to be combining a bit of yoga and a little bit of Pilates to give you a full body workout. You're going to feel the blood flowing throughout your body. Plus we're going to be doing an additional focus on the abdominals. So for props, all you're going to need is a yoga mat and perhaps some additional padding for your knees, and you might need 2 yoga blocks. All right, so let's get started.
All right, so we're going to start down on the ground on all fours and just take a moment to check that you've got great, perfect alignment. So you want shoulders directly over wrists and you want hips directly over knees. All right, you might need additional padding on your knees, in which case you can double fold your mat or put down an extra towel or something like that. So we're just going to start off with cat and cow. So first of all, we just want to check that our spine is nice and straight. So we don't want to be kind of hanging out by collapsing our body into our shoulders. We want to push the floor away from us, and then I like to think about zipping up the pelvis, all right? So we're kind of pulling up into our lower back, supporting it with our spine, with our abdominal muscles. So think navel in towards spine, nice long back from coccyx to the crown of the head, and especially in the back of the neck. So just think some length in your neck. All right, and from there we're just going to be doing some regular old cat and cows. All right, so we're just going to be starting in an all fours position. So before you begin, just check your alignment is correct by making sure your shoulder is directly above your wrist and your hips are directly above your knees and everything is about shoulder width apart. And then you also want to think about pushing the floor away from you and zipping up your pelvic floor. So we are not collapsing into the shoulders and letting our belly flop down to the floor. We're kind of thinking navel into spine and push the floor away from us, and that gives us a nice supported spine. You also want to think nice and straight from the crown of the head to the coccyx, and especially length at the back of the neck. So nice and long and straight, clean lines and angles. So once you've got that, then we can go ahead and get started. So you're going to inhale, you're going to arch the spine, look up to the ceiling. And exhale, curl the spine, drop the head, look at the navel, push the floor away from you. Inhale, arch and look up. So regular cat and cows, just to warm up the body. Exhale. Push the upper back up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, arch. Again, slight push of the floor away from you. Really lift the buttocks up. Exhale, curl. Drop the head, look towards the navel, rounding the upper back. Warming up. Inhale, a few more. Take your time here. Exhale. We're warming up the body for movement. And this is just going to help you feel so much better when we start to do more advanced, more challenging moves. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, arch, push the floor away from you, lift the buttocks up to the sky. And exhale, curl, look down, rounding the spine. And a last one, inhale. And exhale, push the floor away from you. Good, coming back to a neutral spine. You're going to tuck your toes and you're going to push back into downward facing dog. So from your dog, what I want you to do is just start to walk it out. So warming up that body. You could even get a bit of a twisting action in the hips. This is really a great warm-up exercise for any time of the day before any kind of movement. It warms up the entire backs of the legs and the shoulders. And then stepping out so that your feet are hip width apart. So perhaps your heels aren't touching down, that's okay. Perhaps you've got a slight bend in the knees, that's also okay. We are still warming up. But what I really want you to try and do is push the floor away from you so that your weight goes back into the heels. So we don't really want to be evenly spread between hands and feet, we want to push back. And then as you warm up, you'll start to straighten those knees and get those heels down. Remember to keep the arms nice and long, push the floor away from you and the back of the neck long. Okay, now we're going to be doing some knee hovers. So we're going to hover down the knees towards the mat without actually touching down. And back up. So exhale on the way down, inhale on the way up. Exhale, inhale, exhale, hover, Inhale, back to dog. Exhale to hover. Inhale to down dog. And just keep going. So really here we're starting to challenge the quads and the abs. We're going to go for 2 more. And last one, hover it there. So don't move, don't go back into your downward facing dog. Hover the knees off the ground. And if you can, maybe move the feet in a little closer. We're going to carry on with those cat and cows in this hover position. We're going to aim for 5. So inhale, arch, look up towards the ceiling, keep hovering the knees. Exhale, curl the spine, push the floor away from you. Inhale, this is number 2. Starting to challenge those quad muscles. Exhale, you've got this. Number 3. You can do it. If you need to put down those knees momentarily, then that's what you do, and then you lift them up again when you feel ready. Number 4. Almost there. Big exhale. And last one, arching the spine, look at the ceiling. Exhale, rounding the spine and coming back down into an all fours shape. Really, really good. If you need to, you lean back into a child's pose. Maybe your wrists are feeling a bit sore. Come up and just give them a little bit of love with some wrist circles in both directions. All right, so starting to feel the burn. Let's carry on and keep that momentum going. So back into your all fours position. Check that your alignment is correct always. I'm going to extend my right leg and my left arm along the mat and lift them both up to parallel height. Then I'm going to reach back and grab my foot with my hand. Get your balance by looking down on the ground in front of you and really push the floor away from you with your other hand. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, begin to kick that foot up to the ceiling and also into your hand. So you create a really secure grip by kicking into your hand, and hand kind of supports the foot. Using the power of the quads, inhale, and every exhale, see if you can kick up a little bit higher. You might even want to start looking up in front of you or even up towards the ceiling, but if that starts to challenge your balance, then just keep looking down on the ground. Keep going, inhale, and exhale, kick up. And slowly release and bring that leg back down. You're going to swivel on the bottom leg so that your knees facing forward into kind of a side plank or a supported side plank. So just make sure you've still got shoulder directly above wrist and hip directly above knee. The other arm comes up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to lift the bottom leg parallel to the ground. From here, you're going to reach back and you're going to grab that foot with your hand, and just as we did before, you're going to do a bow pose. So inhale to prepare and exhale, begin to kick back. Kick that foot into the hand using the power of the quads. Really, really good. Keep breathing. So it's important to breathe. If you want to, you can look down on the ground. You can look ahead of you. Think about opening the chest. So not really as much in the lower back, think more about opening the heart and the chest, the abdominals. Kick that foot back, inhale and exhale. And then slowly release. Keep that leg up parallel to the floor. The other hand comes behind the head. We're going to go for 6 oblique crunches. So we're going to aim to touch our elbow to our knee. Inhale and exhale, crunch it in. Or as close as you can get it. That's 1. Good, that's 2, you've got this. 3, elbow in towards the knee, focusing on the abdominals and the obliques, that's your waist muscle, doing the crunch, that's 4, keep going, that's 5, and 6, great, and then slowly bring that leg down, and from here, we're just going to move the foot in and kind of sit down onto the buttocks. The other hand is going to come down onto the elbow and you're going to do a nice side bend. Breathe, take a moment. Again, push the floor away from you. Think about revolving the rib cage up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you're going to sweep these hands along the floor and come into a side bend on the other side. Exhale, reverse that movement back to the elbow and back into your side bend. Forward. And again, back into side bend. So each time you're trying to get lower down to the ground, and on your side bend, you're trying to really open your top shoulder up to the ceiling. Good. You also want to try and keep the buttocks down on the ground. We don't want to lift it up. And also this knee that's bent, you want to try and not lift that up towards the ceiling. We're going to add in a back bend. So instead of going onto your elbow, you're going to go onto your hand. You're going to lift the hips up and you're going to circle this arm back behind you. And then sitting down and carrying on as before into your side bend. Circle the arms onto the hand, lift the hips, back bend. Coming round, side bend. And this should feel really, really beautiful. It should feel wonderful to open and stretch the body in this kind of hypnotic, repetitive movement. This will be the last one. Good, and then come around to the front of your mat and you're just going to step into a forward lunge. So one hand on either side of your foot. If you are struggling to get the hips down or if it just feels uncomfortable, you can always grab a pair of yoga blocks and you can use them for some support. So we're going to tuck the back toes, and what I want you to do is try and straighten the back knee completely, but without lifting the hips up. So keep those hips down, again using those blocks for support if you need to. If you don't, you're just resting your hands on the floor and really feel that stretch in the front of the hip. Keep breathing. And from here, what I want you to do is see if you can place both hands on top of your front knee and push back. Squeeze the glutes at the back. Make sure that the back knee is as straight as you can get it, hips down nice and low, and really press your hands against your thigh to move your heart backwards and just feel how that opens the whole front body. Up onto the tiptoes at the back. And then slowly placing one hand down and revolve the other hand up to the ceiling for an easy twisting lunge. Try and keep a nice deep bend in that front leg. Back knee is straight. And feel that twist. Good. From there, let's just do 4 backward circles. 2, 3, and change direction, forward circles. 2, 3, and last one. One twist deeper. See if you can really open up that shoulder to the ceiling. Good, and unwind from that. All right, from here you're going to stand up into a triangle position. Now ideally you want both legs straight. If you can't manage that, you can use your yoga blocks for some height to get you standing up a little bit higher. From here, what I want you to do is flex the front foot. Even if you have a small bend, that's okay, but really flex that foot and rise up onto the back toes. All right, I'm going to move my blocks so that you can see. You can go up onto your fingertips from here, and then keeping the front leg as straight as possible, we're going to just bend the back knee into a lunge and come up. Exhale, 2. Let's go for 8. 3. Really good. 4. Now try and keep the back nice and long, just like we did in the beginning. So we want to try and avoid a really rounded back. You want to almost stick your bum out, lengthen the neck, and bring the heart forward. Last one. Good, and then slowly drop that foot and you can step back into your downward facing dog and just take a moment. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, really, really good. And exhale. Good, okay, all right, so from here, we're gonna have to step back down into our all fours position, and we have to do everything on the other side. So this time I am going to extend my left leg along the mat, right arm. Okay, lifting them both up parallel to the floor, and then reaching back to grab the foot with my hand, looking down onto the mat for balance, or slightly ahead of you. Inhale and exhale, kick up. Kick that foot up towards the ceiling into your hand. Press down into the mat with the hand below. On every exhale, see if you can kick up even higher. Use those glutes, use those quads. Last one, inhale and exhale, kick up and slowly release. And we're going to rotate. I'm going to face the other direction so that you can see. So from here, you're just going to twist so that your knee faces the front. Check your alignment for your supported side plank. Shoulder directly above wrist, hip above knee, and the other arm comes up. Lifting the bottom leg, reaching back and grabbing. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, kick. Kicking back. Kick that foot into the hand. Think about really opening the heart. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Use the power of the quads. Looking really good. I know you're working hard. Inhale. One more nice deep kick. Open the chest, open the heart. And slowly coming back down. Okay, this hand goes to the back of the neck, lifting up the bottom leg parallel to the floor, and we're going to go for our oblique crunches. 6 of them. So inhale to prepare, and exhale, let's go. Elbow to knee, or as close as you can get it. Number 2. Looking really good. 3. Focus on the abs doing the work here. 4. Good. 5, you're almost there. And 6. Really, really nice. All right. So now we're going to just twist that foot in so that we're sitting down onto the buttocks. And the other hand goes down onto the elbow for our side bend. Looking up towards the ceiling. If you press against the floor, it really helps you keep the opposite bum down. All right, we don't really want to be lifting up off the ground. So use this hand to push you back into place. Revolve up to the ceiling. Inhale, sweep these arms along the front of the mat and come into a side bend on the other side. And again. And it becomes a kind of a dance. Sweeping along the ground, lifting up the shoulder, and again. And just enjoy this movement. Enjoy that you get to move your body and make all these incredible shapes. Get the blood flowing, get the heart pumping, and just feel alive and enjoy your body. That is really what it's all about. So last one like this. We're going to add in a back bend. So instead of the elbow coming onto the hand, lifting the hips up and taking the hand back behind you into a half back bend. Then sitting down again and carry on sweeping across the floor back into your side bend as before. Reverse that along the floor to the hand, lift the hips, back bend. Couple of these. Again, really enjoying that movement. Enjoying that you're alive and able to move your body. And not being attached to what you feel is not feeling good or not looking good, and just enjoying what does feel good. Let's do one more like this. Good. And coming back to the front of your mat, and you're just going to step into a forward lunge. I'm going to face this way by my blocks. So again, if you need your yoga blocks to help you get your hips down and just support you, you're trying to keep the back leg completely straight by keeping the hips down, and you are tucking the back toes and extending the knee. If you don't need your blocks, then you're just holding it. And then we're going to take our hands, I like to cross my fingers, press them into the thigh and push back. So I'm really squeezing my glutes here and stretching my quad to help keep my knees straight while opening my heart and pushing back slightly. It's not exactly a back bend, it's more of a heart opening. Hold it there as long as you can. Breathe. Enjoy the opening sensation at the front of the hip. And then slowly come down. One hand goes down, the other hand revolves up for easy twisting lunge. Try not to extend the front leg. Keep a nice deep bend, keep the hips low. And let's go for 4 backward circles. 1, 2, 3. And reverse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. Both hands come down. You're stretching and lifting up into a triangle. Remember, if you need extra height, you can use your blocks. We want to flex the front foot and rise up onto the back toes. Hands come down, trying to keep the front leg straight. You're only going to bend the back leg for 8, 7, good, 6, 5, keeping the spine long, 4, think about bringing the heart down, 3, not rounding the back, 2, and last one, really, really good. Drop those toes, stepping back into your downward facing dog just for a moment. Breathe. Really good. And then coming forward into an all fours position. All right, so now we move on to phase 2, where we're getting a little bit more into the abs. So I hope you're feeling good. If you need to grab a sip of water, then go and do that. Otherwise, we are carrying on. So tucking the toes, pushing up into a downward facing dog. Make sure your stance is wide enough, all right, so that when you come into a plank, you'll have shoulders directly over wrists. If your stance is too short, you're not going to be able to get that. So really nice wide space between hands and feet. All right, from here, you're going to bring the feet together, find your right foot, lift it up, and we're just going to do kind of a crunch in. So we're going to come into a plank position. You're going to bend your knee, and right knee is going to try and tap left shoulder, try and tap chin, and then try and tap right shoulder. And come back. All right, same leg. Left, middle, right, and back, and again, left, middle, right. Good, that's 3. Left, middle, right, and 4. When you come into your plank, you really want to push the floor away from you so that you feel a little bit lighter in the upper body. Last one, left, middle, right, and come back. Good, take a moment. We're going to come forward into chaturanga, all the way down onto the belly. And then we're just going to reach the hands back, interlock the fingers. And then you're just going to inhale and lift up into a back boat. So keeping the feet down on the ground, trying to extend the arms, straighten the arms completely, and squeeze the hands palms together. And then just think about length as opposed to height. We're just trying to counteract all the abdominal work we've done. And slowly unwind, tuck the toes, and push back into your downward facing dog. Let's go to the other side. Feet together, find your left leg, make sure your stance is wide enough. And coming into plank, this time it's going to go knee to the right, to the chin, to the left, and back to down dog. And again, right, middle, left. Try and use a strong exhale. It really helps activate the abdominals and the pelvic floor so that your whole core starts to work together. We've got 2 more to go. And last one, looking good. Really good. Coming forward into your plank, down into chaturanga, and then reach back for your back boat. Inhale. And just use kind of 80-20 breathing here. So you're keeping your lungs sort of 80% full and only exhaling 20% to help you maintain that lift. Really good. Hands back under the shoulders. And now we're going to come up into your plank. So you've got a really good plank position, push-up position. And we're just going to alternate lifting the legs. So right leg comes up and down. Left leg and down. Trying to keep the knees as straight as possible. Really squeeze the glutes as you do this. Good. I know this is tough. I know you're feeling it, but you're doing so well. Let's do 4 more. 3, you've got it. 2, 1, and then come down. You can even put your knees first if you want. And just take a moment, resting. Remember to breathe. Remember to take a sip of water if you need to. We're almost done with our workout and you're doing really, really well. So take your time. All right, tuck the toes, hands underneath the shoulders, pushing back up into your plank position. And this time, we're going to be squeezing our knees into our armpit. So right leg comes up, and you aim to squeeze knee into armpit. Changing sides. 2, we're going for 10, 3, and 4. Keep lifting in the plank. 5, don't drop the hips down. 6, push the floor away from you. 7, lengthen the back of the neck. 8, 9, you got it. 10, really good. And push back into downward facing dog this time. Really, really good. If you want to, you can walk it out. Looking really good, everyone. Those abs should be working. They should be burning. And then you're going to come back down, open the knees wide, and lean back into child's pose. We've got one more exercise to do. So the next exercise is really, really great if you are newly postpartum or if you've had any kind of surgery. It's a form of stomach exercise that is not a crunch, and it is very, very safe for the pelvic floor. All right, so coming up, you might need 2 yoga blocks. You can just see what feels more comfortable. You can either sort of go up onto your fingertips, which can feel quite nice, or you can just use some blocks for additional height. So feet are together, knees are together, everything is together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and keep our arms straight. We're going to push down on the ground. And as we do that, we're going to crunch our knees up towards our chin. Okay, the feet stay flat on the ground, so it looks like this. All right, and then we're going to come down to sort of hovering the knees. Okay, we're going to go for 10 of those. So inhale to prepare. And exhale. 1, 2, 3. Keep pushing down on the blocks or on the mat so your arms are straight. 5, 6, really good. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, excellent. So this is a bit of a less intense crunch, but you should still feel it. It's almost that sensation of if you were trying to get your feet off the ground to maybe lift up into a handstand. So you're really not just hanging out here, you are actively pushing the floor away from you. So without blocks, it's as if you're almost trying to hover your entire body off the ground. That's how much I want you to be pushing down and lifting up from the abdominals. Otherwise, the exercise is almost too easy. So if it is too easy, think about making your feet really light on the floor and having hardly any weight in them. So we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do one with the knees closed and one with the knees open going out towards the shoulders. All right, I'm going to try it without my blocks this time. Maybe do the same just to feel what feels better for you. All right, so pushing into the ground. Inhale and exhale to the middle. And open, and middle, and open. So it's a bit unusual, but it really works the stomach. Good, I think we're on 5, and 6, and 7, you got it, 8, 9, almost there, last one, 10, and relax. Really, really good. Shake out those wrists. All right, I know I said that that was the last exercise, but actually we have one more exercise and then I promise we are done. Okay, so this one is going to work the quads a little bit as well as the abs, but I promise you it is totally worth it. So I'm going to double, in fact, I'm going to triple fold my mat for this one because it is a little bit intense on the knees. So I suggest you do the same or get some additional padding. So what we're going to do is come up into high kneeling, and you can sort of feel what feels better on your knees to tuck or untuck your toes. I might change halfway through. And what we're going to do is we're really going to think about zipping up the pelvis and squeezing the glutes a lot to support us. Hands can come in front of you in prayer, down by your sides. I like to have my hands clasped just in front of me, elbows kind of out to the sides. We're going to inhale. Lift up tall, and exhale, you're going to hinge backwards as far as you can go. And the inhale brings you up. Exhale, hinge. So I'm keeping a straight line from shoulder through my hip to my knee. I'm not bending at the hip. I'm not arching.
All right, it's a hinge. So quite good to do this in front of a mirror if you don't yet have the body awareness to know that your body is in one straight line. But if you're doing it correctly, you will really feel this in the quads a lot. Inhale, exhale. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, second last one. We're almost there, guys. You're doing so well. This is even good for the hamstrings and the glutes. Now hold this one and we're going to do some twists. Side to side, like Russian twists. Oh yes, that's what we're doing. You've got it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up and unwind. Really, really good. And just bring the legs in front of you. Shake them out. You should really be feeling the burn now. Well done. Let's just roll over onto our stomachs. Coming down. And you're just going to push up into a very gentle, very easy upward facing dog, just to release those abdominal muscles, shoulders down. Push the floor away, open the heart, inhale. And exhale. And then slowly melt down to the ground again. And let's come up to seated. So well done. I hope that you enjoyed this workout. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel. So well done. Have a wonderful day and I will see you soon.